Okay, well there's some parts of framework that are a little bit questionable in this house. A lot of that's all just holding the valley gutter. I can't believe how good some of it is and how heavy duty some of it is. I don't know how this piece got here. I highly suspect, considering the screws that are in there, that's actually one my uncle put in next to this one here, which is basically buggered. But I am sort of shocked at how good some of this is. So I just want to sort of document this even for my own purposes. You see a little bit of dust floating there. But you look at some of this and it is as good as the day it was milled. And all notched. They're right into the notches, see? Notch, notch. And see how there's a hole there? That's actually this one here, notched and goes into where my finger's going into there. See? They're mad on notching. It's one of those old style ones where everything seems to be notched. Unfortunately, I think we need a couple of wedges under this here, because that's bloody floating, obviously. So anyway, I'll show you up in the roof space up here. It might be interesting to note, I'll show you this because this is a rarity. Some of these here, this is not actual palings, this is outright planks. And they're bloody huge, they're about 10 inches wide. Even some of the ones over here. A lot of them have sort of managed to get cracks in them. But they're massive, absolutely massive, but just on this side here. So I've got a feeling this might be the actual original, and after this place was transported, or World War II, or whatever, all this was done. So it's sort of, it may have all been relined at a different point, but the nails are sort of, the nails are screaming 1920s because of this sort of a, it's a dome nail with like a 4-headed thing, and you've got occasional little flat tacks as well. But yeah, while I've actually got some of the original style 1800s blacksmith manufactured, bizarre looking rectangular sort of wedge nails in some of the floor of this place. But we have a little look up here, and it's all in surprisingly good condition. It's actually in shockingly good condition. Now some of it you'll notice, she's milled just straight out of the damn forest, because that's not actually a square edge, that's a round taper. But that's just signs that they've come to the edge of the wood basically. But some of this is fairly stunning in its quality, and we seem to have another extra little piece of wood up there you can't really see. Oh, there you can, just randomly sitting on top there. But yeah, some of this is, like, you look at that, like, that's as good as the day it was fucking made. You know, and sawed by hand and put into place. That's absolutely stunning. My uncle has not come up into this area. He has pissed around with the valley gutter down here. And some of these screws you see are some of his, some are actually some of mine. But that's absolutely remarkable, the quality of this stuff. You know, unfortunately, this house is a mashup of, you see the beams down there. That's where that wall is there. Unfortunately, this house is a mashup of old stuff that's really good quality, and some of the outer beams are just absolutely rotted beyond bloody all recognition. Like, just rotted to a phenomenally bad level. And some of those outer beams are the ones that are the corners of walls, the main ones that hold up all the floor. Just some of the major beams are just shagged, while there's other parts that are as good as the day it's been built. And the valley gutter sort of burst from about here through. So that wall there, all the framing in that wall, I done. The whole fucking lot of that. And you probably noticed by the top plate there, that's all softwood. Some of these I've had softwood butted up to the original stuff, a lot of it. some of it's come down, but most of it all, the ends rotted off. So I had to sort of do a bit of a chop and a play around, as you can see there. Now that there is a good example of a lot of these rafters have had that treatment sort of from about this door forwards. But, you know, there's just some of these, there's one there that I've done as well, but you look at others of them and, oh, you know, they're barely just hanging on. They're really not very good at all. And, oh, that's strange. That indicates, oh, that might be just a wedge to stop this moving, but I don't know what that's strange. It's a wedge come from the top. But, you know, there's some of them that, yeah, she's looking a bit bad. And, of course, this is new. Well, it was sitting outside, but that's softwood. Yeah, it's sort of strange. You know, some of it, the outer stuff, and where the water's got in has been completely shagged the shit out of it, to the point that it's almost unresurrectable because there's such major beams with so much shit hanging on them that, you know, by the time you basically go and change that beam that has all the weatherboards hanging onto it, you're going to need to replace all the weatherboards outside just to replace that beam. Or you've got 20 studs and floor joists sitting on said beam. And it's a bit sad in a way that some of it is high quality mixed with other stuff that's a very important beam that will, when you replace that beam, you need to replace everything attached to it, and at the end of the day, it's just easy to build another house and just basically kiss goodbye the nice old hardwood beams, because, you know, you're going to have to replace the entire floor, or, you know, do something to lift all the floor joists up to change that one beam, and then all the wall's going to be hanging loose because it's hanging on the same beam. Or you're going to have to do a corner post, that, you know, corner beam that then does all the outside cladding or holds a good deal of the inside cladding, you know, and you're just like, bloody hell. And at the end of the day, you know, you're patching up something which has failing foundations, and that might as well be money spent on new material for a new place with perfect foundations, not bloody rocks taken in from out of the paddock and just sat under there like some temporary measure that's still like that fucking 120 years later, you know. You know. Anyway,